Would you love a formula to own your time? If so, my guest today will be sharing 4 pillars everyone can follow to leverage our most precious and limited resource. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jen Vasquez, a Pinterest marketing strategist who brings in experts on all things marketing so that you can take action and grow your business. If that sounds like something you're interested, definitely subscribe. Let me know if that's information that you'd love, and also comment if you'd like to see somebody else also on the show. I will be deleting that. Awesome. Today, I am excited to be chatting with Alejandra Marquez Mendez of Your Plan A. Alejandra is a former criminal law professor at the Autonomous University of Barcelona and project manager turned founder of Your Plan A. She is the go-to time and lean systems strategist for full-time entrepreneurs, side hustlers, and busy corporate employees alike. Alejandra's experience has been featured in publications, including Entrepreneur, Inc. magazine, Yahoo Finance, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox, Medium, Authority magazine, Thrive Global, and so much more. I am so thrilled that she said yes to come on here and speak with us. Welcome, Alejandra.
Thank you, Jen, for having me here. It's truly a pleasure being here in the Marketing Strategy Academy podcast. And I'm really looking forward to share lots of things with all of you.
I love it. I love it so much. I know it's probably boring at this point, but I always like to ask my guests sort of their origin story. Like, how did you get to doing what you're doing today? And looking at all of the things that you've done in the past, of course, it's kind of a windy route. And I would love to hear more of that. So can you go ahead and let us know how you got to where you are today?
Yes, no, absolutely. I mean, I never get bored of sharing the story on how everything started. To be honest, I always wanted to start my own business. So when I truly decided that I wanted to make it a reality, the first thing that came to my mind was like, okay, what do I want to offer? Like, how do I want to help others? There are so many things that I love. I'm a multi-passionate. If you're into human design, I'm a manifesting generator. So multi-passionate completely. So it was really something that I just keep thinking, keep diving in. And then there was a question that one of my mentors asked that it just clicked. It was like, okay, what's that thing that people always ask your advice for? What's that thing that everybody asks? And it just keep resonating in my head over and over again. How you manage to do it all? Like where you find the time to do everything in your life. So I knew that was exactly what I needed to help people with time management, with really allowing them to achieve everything they wanted. Just for you to get a little, like the big picture on why people were asking me that, because if you don't know me, that might be like, okay, yeah, they were asking your advice on that, but why? So when I was studying at university, I was studying for 2 degrees at the same time, business management and law, while also working on 2 to 3 part-time jobs at the same time. Not your average part-time jobs. It was actually in notary offices, in law firms, in a research center, and also working with my parents at their restaurant. As it wasn't enough, I really love languages. And I was learning my 5th and 6th language at the same time, really having a lot of time with my boyfriend, with my family, with my friends. And yeah, you might feel like, okay, yeah, at university, it was a couple years, 6 years, trying to juggling all the things. But then I wanted more. So I studied 2 masters at the same time, both of them in law. And I was being a criminal law professor and a project manager while I was starting my own business. So as you can see, yeah, that's why everybody just asks all the time how I managed to do it all. And that was when it clicked. I knew that this is exactly what I wanted to help people with. And if there's something that really was on my mind, is that I just didn't want them to just be a high achiever, overachievers, and just keep doing like this go, go, go mindset, because I know 100% sure that you reach burnout when you're following that mindset. So I wanted to really incorporate more balance, to have you enjoying both your personal and professional life by leveraging your most precious asset, like your time. It's limited and it's precious. So I really wanted for everyone to feel good and start creating that time for things that matter the most to them, and not just overworking.
That is amazing. That is a lot. I thought I do a lot. That is insane, insanely a lot. But I'm sure that it really allowed you to figure out your deep passion. And I have been the recipient of your education, and it is phenomenal. You are
Thank you.
literally my go-to person for anything that has to do with time management. So let's dive in right now, because I know everyone is really curious. Tell my followers and listeners about the 4 pillars. I, of course, will have my ears open too. So what's the first pillar?
Yeah, no, before really diving into the pillars, there's something that I really want to make sure I address, because yeah, I love talking about the pillars. But there's one thing that I need to make sure you understand, and it's that probably you've tried at some point in your life many different things in a random order to improve your time management. Because if there's something that people always complain about, it's not having time. So you probably have tried a lot of things, and for some reason, they never click. They never match your lifestyle. So that's why I created my own signature time method. Well, right now it's called the time protocol. And it is based on these 4 main pillars that you're here to learn. And this will not only allow you to manage your time, because I really want you to go way beyond that. I want you to own your time. So the first pillar, it's tracking. This pillar is all about analyzing and gaining awareness, because that's where everything starts. Everything starts with awareness. If you don't know where you're standing, if you don't know where point A is, there's no way you can reach your goal. There's no way you reach that point B, point Z, because you don't know what's happening. So really, by tracking, analyzing everything that's going on in your life right now, it's how you can start projecting your life and achieving your goals with this. So on this third pillar, what I normally focus on is those things that are happening in your daily life. It can be your distractions, things that you're procrastinating, how to really plan, because most people don't really know how to plan. It's just an endless to-do list that you never know where to start, and really establishing these priorities so you can achieve your goal. So this is pillar number 1, the tracking in the time protocol.
Awesome. I think you're right. Like, you don't know where you're maybe wasting time, or where you have a plethora of time and you're just taking your time within that time. The tracking part of when I worked with you, the tracking part was the most shocking to me, because I thought I was pretty good at time management, and I saw so many areas that I can improve upon. So don't skip this first pillar. If you're skipping this first pillar, it is going to be 10 times harder to really dive into this. Okay, on to the next pillar. Pillar number 2.
No, thank you so much for sharing that, because I feel like everybody takes for granted that taking the time to reflect. And it's like, let's go, let's dive into action. But you really need to start looking around and see where you can improve. So I love that you just shared that, Jen. The second pillar is impact. And this is one of my favorite ones. I mean, I love the 4th of them, but the impact is so crucial. It's key, because you really want to create long-lasting changes. You don't want a quick fix that you apply today and forget about it tomorrow, because that's not sustainable. You want to create something that really impacts your life today and the life you want to create. So we do that by really focusing on habits, routines, mindset. It's by really working on these key aspects that it will start changing your life in less time that you can imagine, but really making it in a way that serves you, and in a way that it will continue with you for the rest of your life. That's my goal, to make something that really, really sustainable during time.
Amazing. Awesome. Okay. pillar 3?
The pillar 3 is motivation. And this is for you to really become unstoppable. There's no point in having a goal or a dream if you're not motivated by it. If you really want to achieve something, you first need to know why motivates you to do so, what beyond external factors, because sometimes you just feel like there are so many things that are influencing your thoughts that you never know why you want to do it. It's just because social pressure, it's because you're following a social media trend, or why you really want to achieve this goal. So within this pillar, I focus really on the internal factors, the internal motivation. That's the one that will really, really drive you forward. And in here, we started realizing what pulls you, what pushes you, what are those things that are really calling your name, what's your why, that vision. And that's how you really start becoming unstoppable and going after goals you never imagined you will have. You never imagined it was possible. But now with the right motivation, there's no way someone's going to stop you.
Yeah, working with you, I'm more of a like big dreamer, and the step by steps to get there gets very mundane to me. And then, like you said, with Instagram or something else that comes along, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. Oh, I want to do that. And working with you, it's really helped me to get those decide on those goals that are the most important to me, and putting those front and center in my plan for the week to make sure that I'm still taking those steps, even if they're goals in the future, right? Taking that step every time forward. All right, fourth.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There are so many things happening. You never stop looking. So that's why it's very important to keep the goal, your personal goal, very clear. The fourth pillar is evolution. And this is obviously, as I say, to make this your new lifestyle. This is all about progress. It's about you keep improving, you keep growing and making it your own. Because yes, I can give you many, many tools and many strategies, but if you're not really putting your own touch to it, there's no way you are actually implementing it in your daily life. So in here, I show you how small changes can really create a huge impact in your life, where you can start readjusting, tweaking things, going back to this reflecting phase and this revision, where you can start creating the lifestyle that you really desire, something that it's really sustainable through time, something that it's evolving every single day. And it's your time to really take the leap and just making it your own, becoming the owner of your time.
Yeah, for me, I think one thing that I have done, which is sort of in that pillar, is I tend to, what works best for me, when you know what works best for you, you tend to do things more, right? I found that habit stacking is the best way for me to ensure that I'm doing the things that I need to be doing. So right after I meditate in the morning, the first thing I do is look at my goals for the day. It sets my day up to do well. And then at the last time, before I turn on my computer in the evening, I identify the things I'm going to work on the next day. And that way, sometimes I'll sleep on it, and then I'll wake up and I'll be like, you know what? I actually want to make a few changes from what I thought of last night when I was tired. And this morning, kind of what I really want to do. So those four pillars are so amazing and such a good base for people who are really wanting to do better with their time management, goal setting, and goal achieving, right? So, what do you think is the main thing that oftentimes will prevent people from achieving their goals?
This is a huge question. I mean, there are many things that normally gets into the way, but if I had to pick one, like the main thing that prevents people from really achieving their goals, it's themselves. I know it's a hard truth to swallow,
That's
but
so good. That's so good. It's
I
me.
know. It's the truth. I know it's hard to hear, but the only thing that's getting into our own ways, it's ourselves. So in here, what I really want you to understand is that everything starts with our mindset. And sadly, the number one thing that people say or think when it comes to time management, or when it comes basically to their time, is I don't have time. I will never have time for that. I'm too busy. There's no way I do that. And you keep repeating all these different phrases that says exactly the same. And I've been guilty of that too. Like, who hasn't said that phrase? I use that excuse. I use it as an excuse in the past so many times because I didn't want it to really own my truth and saying I don't care about this party, for example, because I have my goals pretty clear in mind, but I didn't want to hurt people's feelings. So that was kind of my excuse. But when it comes to mindset, people don't realize how much harm this kind of phrase is causing. Saying I don't have time, and the more you say it, the more you believe it. So that's why inside the pillar impact, the second pillar we work on, I really like focusing on the mindset and really breaking the limiting belief my clients might have, because that's where you can start realizing how much power you actually have. You have way more power in your hands than you believe. And once you start just tweaking very small things, for example, stop saying I don't have time, because you do have. We all have the same 24 hours, so you do have time. That's the way that you can really start improving and growing. So the number one thing standing in your way, it's yourself. So let's change that mindset.
That sounds amazing. What I have a couple questions that have popped up since we are having this conversation, but what is the number one piece of advice that you would give someone who is struggling with time management?
The number one, the number one tip that I will share with anyone who's struggling with time management is to really, really start paying attention to what you do daily. As I said, tracking is the number one thing you really want to start implementing more into your life. So start looking around what you do daily, and it's really in the small things that keeps adding up, that creates a pattern. That's where you can really start creating a big shift in your life. So if you really start paying attention to the small things, I can assure you that you'll be surprised on, because you will find so much time that you can gain back in just a few couple of weeks. Most of my clients actually see changes in the first week because they really start increasing this awareness around everything they're doing. So just by focusing on this number one thing, increase your awareness, start looking at everything that's happening around you, and seriously, you will be surprised. You will start seeing so many chances and opportunity in your life that you never thought it was possible. And actually, I must say, and I'm probably getting ahead of time, but I'll be sharing something by the end of the episode just to help you with this.
I know her gift today, you guys, is mind-blowing. But I want to dive in a little bit deeper because tracking is so important and sort of that number one piece of advice that you typically give to people. Let's get everyone who's listening or watching on YouTube an action item. What's something that they can do to time track? Like, where do you start? Do you start at the beginning of a week? Do you do it in one day? Do you do it for a week? Like, just a little bit of advice on the first step to tracking their time.
So the first step is don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till New Year.
I knew you were going to say that. I totally set you up. Sorry about that.
It's the truth. Normally it's like, oh, I will start something new on Monday. I will start something new on New Year. So don't just do it right now. If you really want to start paying attention to what's going on, by the end of this episode, stop what you're doing and start really looking at what's happening in your life. Sit down and start taking notes of everything that's happening in your day. And my recommendation will really be take a look for a week and really start paying attention during a full week and you will start already realizing patterns. If you do it for a month, it's incredible the number of things that you can really start looking at. But start small, like grab a notebook and a pen and start taking notes of everything that comes to your mind. The times you get distracted, the things that you're procrastinating, all the things that come to your mind. You know how many thoughts you have per day? So start writing everything. That's the way that you will start realizing everything.
And I might give some advice in that area as well, because I did this for a week and I was like, I'm doing great. And by the way, I got way more work done in that 1 week where I was taking track of my time. So I extended it for another week and I went back to my old habits. And then
Okay.
I saw all the surprises. So if you feel like you've got it down and everything's great in that 1 week, try doing it just a little longer, because you can only be, quote unquote, perfect for so long until you're sort of real patterns and ways of doing things and getting distracted come into play. So now everyone should know that she is not only an expert who is sought after and has been all over everywhere, but she also has a best-selling book. So tell us about a little bit about that book. I'll make sure that it's included in the notes below.
Thank you. Yeah, no, seriously, thank you for mentioning the book. This is something that really, really excited me. It was a project that I made it with so much love. And I just wanted to put it out there to really be something that people can start implementing right away. It's not a book that it's only for you to read and forget about it. It's very action driven. So my book is called From Burnout to Unstoppable. It is a guide to becoming your most productive and balanced self. As I told you, this is for both increasing your productivity and finding that balance in your life. So that way you can really start enjoying everything. This book is for everyone who really wants to achieve their goals with ease and not by burning out. So you can start enjoying more your life. It's for you to stop letting your schedule run you. And I know you probably have that feeling. So it's really start running your schedule. So this book came to life after me hitting burnout a couple of times in my early 20s. And I realized that, as I said, my limiting beliefs, and in this case, it was weird because it was my belief about success and hustling. These were the ones that weren't working. I was very overachiever, perfectionist, always with that go, go, go mindset. So I really learned how to step back for a moment and dive deeper into that balance, dive deeper into the self-care and just slowing down so I can speed up and really achieve my goals with way more ease. So this is where you can find in this book. It's for you to become unstoppable with ease. It's for you to increase your productivity, have more balance, get rid of the burnout, because we are not here to suffer. You are here to really start enjoying in creating these long-lasting changes. Again, there's no point of start changing something if you're going to quit tomorrow. So this is for you to really keep it to your whole life. It's something that you will never waste the time that you're spending investing, learning these skills.
Yeah, I will point out that I feel like we've sort of gotten in that hustle culture where everybody wants to see that they're busy all the time. But I feel like embracing that side of taking care of yourself, what people aren't really saying, and you do in this book, is that if you take care of yourself, your business will actually do better. And it's hard to feel like that when you're in the midst of all this work and all this crazy, and overwhelm's a big word that we hear all over the place. So obviously this book being a bestseller, it has hit a nerve. People are very amazed and impressed by it. And again, I will have all those things below. But we're going to be getting to Alejandra's gift in a second, but first, I always love to ask all my guests because I like to get these juicy details too. What are three things that helped you to grow your business? They could be tools, they could be advice, they could be anything, any three things.
Any three things. Probably the number one thing that comes to my mind when it comes to really growing my business or anything that you do in life, it's never stop learning. Like, I'm a forever student. I will always say it. I always call myself that. I keep learning every single day. There's no one day that I don't dedicate some time to learn something new. And even when it comes to time management, like, I really keep learning about it and improving and adding more stuff, because there's so many things that you can really learn. And especially when it comes to self-development, that's the number one thing that you really want to start paying more attention to, because you're the person handling the business. So you need to first work in yourself. So never stop learning. The only thing that I will say in here, and this is a word of caution, don't let procrastination stop you. And this is a real
Oh,
thing.
that is so real.
It is a real thing. And I know how tempting it may be, just keep learning and never applying, but you need to start taking the action, and everything you learn, apply at least a little bit of it. You don't need to apply the whole thing at the same time, but start taking small steps, because that will really drive, well, the whole thing forward. That will really make you hit home. The second thing that comes to my mind when it comes to growing my business, it's always have a mentor that supports you. Someone who already have the life that you want to have, or who has the tools that you want to implement, because that's the fastest way that you will learn. And let's be honest, you don't want to do this alone. Nobody wants to do this alone, even if you feel like, no, I can do it by myself. Yeah, you cool. But trust me, you will spend so much more time. You will invest so much more money, because when someone teaches the shortcuts and the things that they already tested and proven, and what worked and what didn't, like, you gain so much more out of it. Mentors in my life have played a huge role. I'm here because of them. Otherwise, I will not be here. That's 100% sure. And by the way, if any of my incredible mentors are listening, thank you again for everything. And by the way, I just did Jen's challenge on how to start your Pinterest. It was amazing. So take a mentor like Jen if you want to start learning about Pinterest. I'm serious. It was a game changer. So thank you, Jen. You're obviously listening.
Thank you. And what's your third?
Yeah, so the third thing that I will 100% recommend you to grow your business is develop and create systems that can support the lifestyle that you currently have and the life that you desire. Because sometimes you get so obsessed with the life that you have right now that you create something that's huge, that's massive, that you think that will be the thing that will change everything. But if it's not something that's scalable, your business will really start feeling like, well, this heavy weight in your shoulders. So it shouldn't be heavy. It shouldn't be complicated. That will cause more problems that actually it is fixing. So I always like to see systems as you are carrying a backpack and you want to start climbing a huge mountain. You want to have a light backpack. You want to have something that you can really keep bringing with you along the way. So that's why I love creating sustainable and lean systems that support your business. And this is definitely something that has changed my business and my clients' business in a way that you cannot imagine.
That is amazing advice. I want to touch on the second one that you talked about is like the always learning. And one thing that I learned from you in the pitch club, which I'm very proud to talk about, it is life-changing, truly business changing, but life-changing as well. And that's how I met Alejandra. And one thing that she said in there that has, I mean, I have always said it, but the way that she said it changed everything. She said to me, for every hour, and to everyone in the group, but every hour that you invest in education, you want to spend 2 hours implementing it in your business. And I have a lot of people listening now. I know this because a lot of my clients are like this. We learn and we learn and we learn, and we very rarely take time to implement, and unless something's like overwhelming, right? And sometimes we can turn into little learning machines, and we're not actually growing our business because all we're doing is learning. So if you don't have time to double the time that you've done in terms of education by putting that on your calendar to take action on, then maybe it's not the night now the time to learn, right? I mean, I know myself, I took like 3 huge courses in 1 month and my business fell because of it. Yes, I learned, but I didn't have time to implement because I was trying to catch up on my all my work. And that has stuck with me, Alejandra. And I actually say this at the end of every podcast, not the 1 hour and 2 hours, but the fact that the only way that education will really help us grow is if we implement part of it, right?
Yeah.
Now, before I get to the amazing, wonderful gift that Alejandra has truly generously offered to all of my listeners and watchers, tell everyone, because I know right about now in a podcast, I would be listening to you and going, how do I work with her? Like, tell me. So tell me a little bit about the services that you provide in case anyone listening or watching is feeling the same.
Okay, before that, and I truly appreciate you dedicating this time for me to talk about how people can work with me. But what you just said about the implementation part, it's really key. So if you were not listening to Jen, 1 hour of learning, 2 hours of implementing, I love repeating it because it's true. It's something
It's
that you
so
will
true.
absolutely change everything.
It's business changing,
Yeah,
truly business changing.
absolutely. So thank you again. And people who is listening to this or watching us, if you are interested and just feel like, hey, I really want to learn more about how to leverage my time. I want to learn more how to achieve my goals with this without burning out and really create more time, because that's one of the things I can 100% do for you. It's create more time for the things that matter the most to you, gaining back the time that you're wasting on distractions, on procrastination, many things that you're right now wasting your time on. I can give it back to you. And just a quick note in this, on everything that we do, it's not 2 hours to apply after 1 hour of learning. All my
Yes,
tips,
yours is speedy.
it's
It's insane.
speedy.
Yes.
I know, it's really learning it, applying it, and in just 2 hours of learning, you're already applying it already. So it's something that you will really not, you don't need to invest lots of time to learn how to gain that time back. So the return on investment, both money-wise and time-wise, is huge. I can assure you that. And there are 2 main ways that you can work with me if you're really interested. One, it's, let's say it, a long-term type of work. I love working with my clients in one-on-one premium coaching. So this is really to leverage everything that you're doing in your life. We'll focus very deep on everything that you're working on, create this sustainable system, long-lasting changes, and really make sure that you own your time. And there's no way you are left behind. If we need to tweak something, we tweak it. It's very, very personalized, and I adapt to your needs. So this is my one-on-one premium coaching.
And
And the
let me
other,
just pause for
yeah,
a second, because the accountability when you work with a one-on-one coach versus a group coaching type situation, the one-on-one accountability means that you double the learning and taking action when compared to maybe even working in a group. So it is insanely good. Just wanted to point that out.
no, thank you so much. And sometimes it's even more than double. To be honest, when you're having a mentor that it's with you one-on-one, it's, in this case, it's my complete attention and brain to everything that you need. And I'll be there for you. If there's anything you need, we have a private chat, just you and me, and it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that you just learn and if you apply by yourself, that's it. No. It's a lot of feedback and accountability in here. So there's no way you're left behind in a one-on-one setting. And the other way, if you consider yourself pretty busy. Like, I don't have the time to learn how to make more time. First, we need to talk. If you seriously think that, we need to talk. But I do know, and I work with really busy entrepreneurs and corporate employees that they just want to hit it home in 4 hours. I have VIP days, and this is really strategic mapping sessions where we brain up absolutely everything that you need to do. We plan on it. We really create something strategic to get it done in less time than you can expect, setting deadlines, making sure that you have the right tools to do so, implement systems if you don't have it already in place. So these are 4 hours, again, full focus on you. These are one-on-one VIP days, and it's for you to really just hit it. It's for a quick, fast start. It's a jump start. It's a skyrocket thing. And it's a very low time commitment. If what you want is fast results in a short amount of time, this is for you. Like, in both, you will have results. The thing is what suits your needs right now. So that's why I always love jumping on a call first or reading your application, because that way I make sure what are your needs and how we can make sure they are met.
Exactly.
Because otherwise there's no point.
Exactly. I'm the type of person who loves learning it in a day and taking action immediately versus sort of the long-term coaching. Although just because I like that doesn't mean that the long-term coaching might not be good for me. So if you guys have any interest at all, definitely connect with her. I'm listing all of the information down below. She will literally talk you through both options and really help you to decide that. Okay. Alejandra, I'm so excited. She has generously offered an actual mini course today. And the mini course is Overcoming Distractions and Procrastination. And she's offering it completely free. I was shocked and excited. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about what is in that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I know for sure that one of the first things that people always come my way to is I'm too distracted. I'm pretty busy. I'm too distracted. I procrastinate a lot. And sometimes they don't say it with those words, but that's where I can read. It's like, I don't have time for this because blah, 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 blah. Then I know what's going on behind that. So that's why I wanted to really start promoting more this free mini course, because distractions and procrastination are the two biggest things that are really consuming your time and you're not even realizing it. You might feel like, no, I don't get that distracted. Believe me, watch the mini course. Again, it's mini. I make it very short and sweet, delivering all the value. Listen to it, have it a look. Let me know afterwards if you get distracted or not, because there are many things happening in your life that you might not realize right now. Again, gaining that awareness, that tracking. So I wanted to share part of my tracking pillar with all of you. So actually, this overcoming distractions and procrastination is a part of my time protocol. So that way you can also get a taste of it and really start making sure that there's nothing that's preventing you from keep achieving everything you want. The number one barrier is distractions and procrastination. So once you tackle it, you gain time like this.
And it's a nice, sweet peek into how you educate. And I know it will blow you away. So thank you so, so much for your valuable time today and your advice. I could literally talk to you all day, but we're going to be thoughtful on our time. What is the best way to get in contact with you in case anyone wanted to take this conversation further? I'm going to put all of your links down below, but what is the best way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, so the best way, it's actually on LinkedIn. I'm very active in there and I really like building the relationship and connection. If you're more an Instagram person, go ahead, connect with me there. The idea is really just to start chatting with you, because I want to make sure that if you had any doubts on this, about this podcast or anything that you see outside that's from me, I want to make sure that I can address those doubts that you have. I don't want you to listen this and saying, okay, now what? how can I just keep applying it? So please just reach out. And if you listen or watch this episode, just say hi and say that you came here, that you're wearing here. That will make me really, really excited. And yeah, just let's connect. I would love to really get to know you and see if I can help you anyway. And if you just like to follow for content, you will get tons of it.
Yes, for sure. Now, I know from listening or watching this that you have probably identified some ideas and some tips and some things that you're excited to try to implement as you move forward. And if so, we would love for you first to leave a review on our podcast. We are building our podcast and we'd love to have that, or even comments in YouTube letting us know one takeaway that you thought was really exciting about this episode. And I always like to end by telling you to take one or two things that you learned on here and actually going to your calendar right now and putting some time aside next week to implement what you learned today. And one of those things can actually be Alejandra's gift of that free mini course. So put some time on your calendar to take advantage of this free offer, and I really appreciate your time today, as always. Have a good time and go out there and do something good for your business. Bye.